White Teeth, Black Thoughts. White Teeth, Black Thoughts is the sixth studio album by American band the Cherry Poppin Daddies, released on July 16, 2013, on Space Age Bachelor Pad Records. Following the predominant world music slant of 2008 Susquehanna and the 2009 ska album Skaboy JFK, White Teeth, Black Thoughts marks the Cherry Poppin Daddies' first album since their 1997 compilation Zoot Suit Riot to focus exclusively on swing and jazz music, eschewing the ska, rock and pop influences which typically feature on their albums. A two-disc deluxe version of White Teeth, Black Thoughts was released concurrently with the main swing album, featuring an additional full-length album of material composed in an Americana vein covering rockabilly, country and western swing music. Since plans for a new record were announced, singer-songwriter Steve Perry stated the primary musical direction of the next Daddies album would be returning to swing and jazz music, the band's first swing-oriented album since the 1997 breakthrough compilation Zoot Suit Riot. White Teeth, Black Thoughts features few of the ska and punk influences which the Daddies are generally recognized for incorporating into their swing music, instead primarily drawing from various periods of traditional jazz and swing, including the hot jazz of the 1930s and the jump blues and big band of the 1940s and 1950s. A limited deluxe edition of White Teeth, Black Thoughts was co-released alongside the main album, featuring a bonus disc of additional material which Perry explained didn't fit into the stylistic context of the swing album. Heavily influenced by various facets of Americana music, the songs on the bonus disc cover such styles as Adiko Teach Chupachulis Congregation, Country You Wiped Your Ass With My Heart, Western Swing Peckerheads and Badasses, and Bluegrass Rugged Old Flag, as well as several songs influenced by rockabilly. Elaborating on the band's interpretation of the latter, Perry explained kind of like psychobilly with horns. Teeth like the swing stuff we deal with, it's a little straighter, but with still a swung beat and then some heavy guitar and some R&B and swing elements in there. White Teeth, Black Thoughts is the first Daddies studio album since 1994's Rapid City Muscle Car to include cover songs, and the first time the band has recorded songs from the swing era. While Perry has long been a critic of cover songs, and in particular the overuse of covers in swing bands, he explained in an interview, "If we do a cover, we do it because we believe people won't recognize it rather than will. I would want to draw attention to an artist that is historically out there on the cobblestones." The main album features covers of Louis Jordan's 1939 song dubbed The Jitterbug, Winnie Harris's 1950 rhythm and blues version of Hank Penny's Bloodshot Eyes and Bull Moose Jackson's 1947 I Want a Bow-Legged Woman, while the bonus disc includes a French-language cover of Django Reinhardt's Nuages and a cover of Flat Butts and Big Guts or How I Learned to Vomit Standing Up by New York Catholic band the Barnard Playboys, from their 2000 album Down Bass on a Rampage. Lyricism. In a June 2013 interview with Period magazine, Perry briefly mentioned that he was inspired to start writing material for White Teeth, Black Thoughts during the financial crisis of 2007-8, drawing a parallel with the Great Depression of the 1930s which prompted him to return to writing swing and jazz music. In a later interview, Perry elaborated on these influences, calling the album an Americana examination of those Bush and Obama years and financial hard times, focusing on an amalgam of the social and political issues of the time, including red state anxiety, i.e. Tea Party/Fox News phenomenon, growing class warfare, i.e. Wall Street/hedge fund, American materialist/capitalist values, the pain of nostalgia. I guess I wanted little vignettes and character sketches that would freeze this time period in amber, so to speak. Production history. In a July 2010 interview conducted while the Daddies were still touring behind the release of Skaboy JFK, Perry hinted at prospective plans for new Cherry Poppin Daddies material, mentioning the band was in the process of writing music for possibly 2 new albums, one a swing rockabilly kind of thing and the other an R&B pop thing. By the following January, however, Perry clarified that the swing album had become the band's sole focus, though elements of the R&B project would eventually contribute to the development of White Teeth, Black Thoughts bonus disc. Initial production on the album began in March 2011 at Gong Ha Studios in the Daddies' hometown of Eugene, Oregon, where all of the band's previous studio albums have been recorded. Documented through Perry's personal Twitter account, this stage of production lasted throughout most of 2011, with recording lasting into summer, tracking finished by October, and mixing taking place over the following months. These recording sessions marked the debuts of guitarist Bill Marsh and tenor saxophonist Willie Mathias, both of whom joined the Daddies in 2010, as well as trombonist Joe Fruin, who would later join the band in 2012 as their first full-time trombone player. This would also be the final Daddies album to feature long-term keyboardist Dustin Lanker, who would leave the band in early 2012. Much like Susquehanna, White Teeth, Black Thoughts features an extensive roster of guest musicians, primarily contributing instruments unique to the genres being performed. Most notably, the album features appearances by Grammy Award-winning accordionist Buckwheat Zydeco on the Zydeco-styled song Teach Chupachilla's Congregation, and Captain Beefheart and the Magic Band guitarist Suthorn Rollo, Eugene resident and personal friend of Perry's, on a psychobilly cover Flat Butts and Big Guts. John Fole, a former member of Dr. John S. Lowe 911 band and Daddies guitarist from 1990 to 1992, provided baritone and slide guitar for the western swing track Peckerheads and Badasses. Although the band originally announced the projected release date of winter 2011, updates on the album's development went entirely unheard of until a December 2011 interview with Perry, where he vaguely mentioned continued work on the album but finally confirmed its title, White Teeth, Black Thoughts. Perry later revealed that following initial completion of recording in late 2011, the band ultimately decided to record an additional batch of songs and released an exclusive version of White Teeth, Black Thoughts as a double album. According to Perry, he had simply written so many damn songs in both the swing and rockabilly/Americana genres that he thought it better to split them into two separate albums rather than attempt to merge the two styles into something stylistically cohesive. On June 20, 2012, the Daddies launched a Pledge Music campaign accepting fan donations to help complete the final stages of production, reaching 100% on August 14 and continuing to collect further donations into 2013, ultimately raising 133% of its target sum. Perry announced through a Pledge Music update on November 16, 2012, that the album and its artwork had been completely finished. Release and promotion. On March 18, 2013, a digital download of the 11-track swing album was released exclusively for contributors to the Daddies Pledge Music campaign, while signed physical copies of the single and double-disc CD were mailed out in the following weeks. The Daddies eventually confirmed a wide release date of July 16 for both versions of White Teeth, Black Thoughts in April, releasing the album's first single and video, I Love American Music, on May 15, and the second, The Bad Beach, on July 2. On July 8, Billboard released a full stream of the Swing album on their website. Both CD versions of the album were released on July 16 along with a limited vinyl release of the Swing album, the first Daddies album since 1990's Ferociously Stoned to be issued on vinyl. Having retired from full-time touring after their hiatus in late 2000, the Daddies carried out a short 15-city tour in support of White Teeth, Black Thoughts, primarily playing within the West Coast and New England. In the midst of the tour on July 25, the band appeared in the Fox-owned KTTV program Good Day L.A., performing the song I Love American Music in promotion of their show at the Roxy Theatre in Hollywood the same evening. Music videos. 5 music videos were filmed in promotion of White Teeth, Black Thoughts, shot by Steve Perry and the Daddies in conjunction with the band, Oregon-based production company AMZ Productions. I Love American Music, the first single/video off the album, was premiered on the Onion SFE Club website on May 15, 2013, while the song was released to iTunes and Spotify on May 20. In a blog post released the same day, Perry elaborated at length behind the song and the video, noting that it was written as a tribute to the unknown blues musicians he idolized who remained dedicated to their music despite living in poverty and obscurity, while the video reflects how the same dedication affects the musician's family life, describing it as a Sisyphean struggle with more downs than ups. The video, directed by Perry and Jesse Locke, humorously depicts Perry at his home, intently composing and singing along to the song while his frustrated wife stands to the sidelines. On July 2, the album's second video, The Babuch, was premiered on United States of America Today. Again directed by Perry and Locke, the video had a decidedly political tone, featuring the Daddies performing the song while superimposed over a montage of postcards and stock film, intercut with footage of bourgeoisie luxury and figures including Hemi Paulson, Donald Trump and Mitt Romney, with news footage of Occupy Wall Street and American homelessness. Perry described the video as being inspired by punk rock clip posters, Frank Zappa's 200 Motels and Louis Buell's The Discreet Charm of the Bourgeoisie, while noting the song was about the Gatsby-esque 1% self-importantly celebrating his success, the most American character, seduced by luxury but pricked by conscience. The album's third music video, Huffin' My Girls, debuted on the website for Gay and Lesbian magazine out on August 27, 2013. Depicting Perry dressed in drag and several members of Eugene, Oregon's drag community, Perry described the song as an homage to the Warhol superstars, namely Candy Darling, Jackie Curtis and Holly Woodlawn, as well as actress Maria Montez and the filmmaking style of experimental director Kenneth Anger. In addition to huffing muggles being 1930s/1940s slang for smoking marijuana, Perry elaborated on the meaning of the song by calling it like an ear to the door of a casual conversation between an old experienced urban male and his younger acolytes with whom he is holding court. There is a lot of shit talking going on, and everyone is getting loose, highlighting the lyrical references to William Blake's songs of innocence and of experience, and noting what I was really interested in here was the kind of cultural apprenticeship angle, and the bittersweet generosity behind the transferring of hard-won cultural knowledge. On April 25, 2014, a week before the May 2 European release of White Teeth, Black Thoughts, the Daddies released their fourth video for Doug the Jitterbug, a cover of a 1939 Louis Jordan song. Unlike the album's previous videos, Doug the Jitterbug didn't feature a narrative, but was instead a filmed live performance in black and white of the Daddies performing the song at the Whiteside Theatre in Corvallis, Oregon on September 21, 2012, occasionally interspersed with clips of vintage films and cartoons. On October 20, 2015, over 2 years after the album's release, Perry posted a music video for the song Brown Flight Jacket to the band's YouTube account. In a Facebook post, Perry revealed the video was shot the same day as the video for the Babooch, but forgot to put it out there for the world to enjoy. Similar in aesthetic style to the Babooch, the video depicts Perry wandering across a desert landscape singing the song, intercut with vintage footage of World War II bombers. Reception. Critical response to White Teeth, Black Thoughts was generally favorable, though, like Susquehanna 5 years prior, the album's independent release and distribution flew under the radar of most major music publications. Thought Matters gave the album a 7 out of 10 rating, considering it to be a superior effort over Zoot Suit Riot, complimenting the band's bizarre/twisted/out-of-left-field sense of humor and agility at slinky, slow-burning numbers such as the title track, though criticized parts of the album they felt stayed too close to the sounds of other contemporary swing bands like Big Bad Voodoo Daddy. Popstash contributed a glowing review, calling it beautifully recorded and the Daddies' most mature and polished release to date, praising the unconventional lyrics, bouncy guitars, and some strange drums in making a contemporary twist on a classic style. The Washington Post also gave a positive review, though expressed mixed feelings over the Daddies' modern spin on swing music, writing that most of the songs sounded like contemporary bar rock songs in a swing style than the work of a retro act, though highly praised songs such as Brown Flight Jacket for the tender lyricism and level of subtlety for what the reviewer considered a group that has never seemed to grow out of its body lyrics and rambunctious style. This review offered a more indifferent opinion, calling the album a solid, well-developed piece of music which was more mature and nuanced than maybe anything the band has previously released, though noted that it felt like an album out of time and it was hard to shake the feeling that it's come about a decade too late. In a brief 2014 review, Matt Calla of AllMusic rated the album with 3.5 out of 5 stars, summarizing it as an album of exuberant, ambient dance music that moves from popular standards to new compositions with devilish ease. Of the few publications to review the double-disc deluxe edition, Inc. 19 called the second disc more experimental and generally more fun than the first, though recommended both discs as featuring worthwhile material, singling out the touching Brown Flight Jacket in the front to sing along with flat butts and big guts. Reed Junk called the album a great swing-influenced album, describing the first disc as containing some pretty good swing songs, but urged readers to pick up the deluxe version, writing it will be missing out an entire disc of great songs if you don't. Previous availability. Shake's Frilly Panties is an outtake from Soul Caddy recording sessions, previously released as a fan club download on the Daddies website in 2001. The White Teeth version adds a low-fidelity crackle effect to replicate the sound of 78 RPM vinyl. Subway Killer is a re-recording of a song by Steve Perry's glam rock band White Hot Odyssey, originally from their 2004 self-titled album. The Babooch director's cut is the same recording as featured on Disc 1 except with an alternate set of explicit lyrics in the chorus. Personnel. Cherry Poppin Daddies Steve Perry vocals, guitar. Washboard Dan Schmidt bass Dana Heitman trumpet Joe Manis alto sax Kevin Kungleton drums Willie Mathias tenor saxophone Bill Mosh lead guitar Joe Froon trombone. Additional musicians: Dustin Lanka keyboards on tracks 1, 5, 8, 10, Reinhard Mel's drums on track 6, Jason Palmer drums on track 11, Dave Captain bass on tracks 1, 2, 5, 9, Casio Viana keyboards on track 11, Greg Goba keyboards on track 6, Tim Donahue drums on track 8, Jason Moss guitar on track 8. Additional musicians on Deluxe Edition bonus disc: Suit Horn Rolo guitar on track 6, Buckwheat Sadiq accordion. Background vocals on track 1, Dustin Lanka keyboards on tracks 1, 12, Bill Barnett bass, drums, guitar on tracks 1, 3, Don Fall baritone guitar, slide guitar on track 3, Joe Weber guitar on track 4, Monty Edmondson guitar on track 5, Paul Brainerd lap steel, Dobro on tracks 2, 3, 8, Reinhardt Mel's drums on track 7, Jason Palmer drums on track 1, Alan Hunter bass on track 5, Dave Captain bass on tracks 3, 10, Sean Shanahan banjo on track 8, Thomas Johnny Schiller background vocals on track 8, Casio Viana keyboards, melodica on track 9, Greg Goebel keyboards on track 7. Production produced by Steve Perry, recorded and mixed by Bill Barnett at Gunhouse Studio, Eugene, Oregon, mastered by Brad Blackwood at Euphonic Mastering, Memphis, Tennessee.